Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Boomer Grounds podcast. It is just the boys here today. The ladies are all a little bit busy with their lives and stuff, and don't have time for us today, as they have actual things that they have to do. So
They
I'm
have
here with
lives.
Howard. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about cyberbullying.
hmm
Seems to have been a bit of a topic this last week. But let's catch up, Howard. How have you been this week? What have you been up to?
You know, I was doing okay until today when the Serious Holidays channels debuted, and the one channel I listened to nonstop from November through December, Holiday Chill Out, was not there.
Oh, heartbroken.
How, how upsetting was this? Yeah, I contacted customer support. I went into their little chat thing and I got the AI assistant. And the AI assistant was like, "How can I help you? You can get me a customer service rep." And it must have felt the severity of my keyboard strokes because it got me somebody right away. And then that person was like, "Hold on, I'll check our records," and put me on hold for 5 minutes. And comes back and goes, "There's no mention of the channel you're asking for, sir, at all." And I was like, "This is a problem. Who do I talk to?" And they're like, "Well, here's our feedback form." I said, I am writing a sternly worded email right now." So it's funny because I mentioned it to Terry and to Obo, obviously, who couldn't be here, but Obo's immediate reaction was, "Let me see what I can find." And she found me like 3 YouTube playlists. I'm like, this is good, but not the same. So Sirius XM, if you still want my money every month, you better pony up the holiday chill.
Oh, yeah, I've had Sirius forever. I bought the lifetime subscription, like, I guess like almost 20 years ago now. And I've just
They
been,
haven't offered it for like 10 years. So yeah, you've
yeah,
had that a
yeah,
while.
because, yeah, they stopped offering it. Like, I paid for 1 year because wanted to listen to Howard Stern and had to get, like, its own separate receiver for it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, why am I bother paying for 1 year? It's like, it pays itself off in like 3 years. I just bought the lifetime, and now you could just transfer it between cars and stuff, and it's like
Yeah, I
automatic.
mean, it used to be that when you bought the lifetime, when they first started doing it, you bought the
Yeah,
lifetime, it was the lifetime of the radio.
yeah,
And then they were like, yeah, no, that no one's going to pay the money for this. So they made it the lifetime of the subscriber as long as you keep it active consistently.
yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, now we're losing money on this, so screw it. But the thing with them is I don't understand how they make any money anyway, because when I was unemployed earlier this year, I called them, I was like, "Listen, man, I got no money. I gotta cancel my Sirius subscription." And I was like, "Okay, well, what if we cut the price to like $12 for like the next 4 months?" I'm like, "I can't pay $12 a month, man. I'm really no. Give us $12 now. We'll keep you on for 4 months." And I'm like, "You wonder why you lose money?" I mean,
Nah, I think they make most of their money from ad revenue because they like,
it is.
even though the music doesn't make, there's no ads on the music channels. They get ads on for all the other channels. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
that
So let me ask you this before we get into what's going on with you. What do you listen to on Sirius? What do you like?
well, now I just listen to pop music, but before I used to listen to a
Okay.
lot of Howard Stern. I listen to a lot of ESPN because we don't get ESPN out here. And just like a lot of like pop and hip hop, and then we were listening to Kids Bop for a long time when we were driving around with Tesla. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you want some ear stabbing music. Listen to
Oh,
the same Kids Bop song because they only have like about probably like a 2 hour cycle of songs, and then it starts repeating. And just like some after a while, we're like, okay, we gotta listen to one rotation. Once we hear a song get repeated,
time to change
we're
it.
changing channels. But
My
now she has her own phone and internet, and she just plugs in her headphones, and so it's all good.
my niece is on the Kids Bop thing right now, and her mom's like, I question all of my life choices every
Yeah,
time it comes up. So, but yeah, yeah, I love the specialty channels. I've listened to fantasy sports radio a lot, although I admit
yeah.
this year I said I'm going to take a step back from it, and I'm actually doing better in fantasy leagues this year now that I'm not listening to fantasy sports radio as much. But yeah, it's a great tool. I love Sirius XM. So give me my goddamn station,
I mean,
jerks.
I already offered to record you. Terry sings all the Christmas hits. And I could just like we could put it out as our Christmas album for the
I
Boomer
think we should
Grounds
put
Christmas
it.
album.
We should put out a Boomer Krauts Christmas
Yeah,
album.
there you go. I mean, we could challenge New Heights to see who puts out the better Christmas album because they put out the Philly special one like every year with Jason Kelsey and them, right? And
There
the
you
bunch of
go.
Eagles.
There you go.
It could be a
So
challenge. We'll throw it on the gauntlet.
What's going on with you this week? By the way, well, I might be eating a little bit of candy just to keep the old energy up tonight. So,
It's
Terry,
fine.
Terry, what's new in Terry world?
My birthday tomorrow, so don't think I'm gonna. I don't
Happy
probably not.
birthday!
Thank you. Don't think I'm gonna stream tomorrow during the day. My wife took the day off. We're supposed to go out for dinner, but she has to work on Thursday, so we have to have like dinner at like 3:30 if we go out somewhere, like a true senior citizen. I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Uh, I also don't know what I really want to go eat. Like the place I feel like eating is like an hour drive away, and I don't want to go do that during a weekday. So I'm like, I haven't decided what we're gonna eat. I might just go buy some steaks and just cook some steaks at home, and then maybe go do something on the weekend.
You know, I've gotten to the point now where I want to celebrate on the weekend. I don't care if my birthday's a Tuesday. That's fine. We celebrate that Friday. That's Saturday.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to do midweek birthdays anymore. I'm too old.
yeah. I know what you mean. Just like it's just so much hassle, especially like fighting through traffic, and like the fact she goes to bed at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
So like we have to like be done dinner by like 5. So we're driving an hour away, and then it's like a rush, and it's like
Yeah, it's just
not
a pain
worth.
in the
It's not.
ass.
It's not worth the hassle. Yeah.
So, what is this?
So
The big 4-9 for you?
yeah, 49. Almost midlife. Almost a midlife.
That means the big Terry Fest is next year.
Yeah, yeah. The midlife crisis is soon gonna come once I hit the big 50.
I haven't had it. I just no.
Yeah, I haven't had either. I haven't had what like drive around in the sports car. Try to relive my youth. I mean, I sit around play video games on Twitch. How's that not reliving my youth?
Maybe that's it. Maybe we're already there, so we
Yeah,
don't have to go to the extreme. I
yeah.
don't know.
We're just big. We're just big kids. That's all. That's all it is. I'm sure the
That's
ladies would have
it.
agreed with this if they were around.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk a bit about cyberbullying.
Mm,
One of the big stories that came out this week was Justin Bieber going onto Twitch. He said he's going to start streaming every day on there. Pretty big news, obviously. Justin Bieber, very big personality. He was streaming a lot, and then he was getting a lot of hates. A lot of hate in chat, and he was really feeling it. He's mentioned in the article that I read. Now, like no matter how many nice people are saying stuff, is like the people that say like the bad stuff is what kind of sticks. Because he was talking about
yeah.
like he was like playing basketball before streaming one day, and he was like quite tired when he started streaming, and there's like, oh yeah, he no longer has the energy he used to have when he was younger and stuff. He's just like, bro, I was just playing basketball for the last 2.5 hours. Like, where's his childhood
Right.
exuberance? Just stuff like that. Just like it affects people. Like it affects people. A lot of people take that stuff very seriously, and just
Mm-hmm.
draining. Like we also had the case, I guess last week now, or almost 2 weeks ago, of Daniel Naroditsky, the chess streamer who passed
Mm-hmm.
away suddenly. A lot of talk was that it was because of cyberbullying from Vladimir Kramnik, the chess world champion from I don't know what year he was. Supposedly his state of mind was severely down because Kramnik kept accusing him of cheating. He was streaming and says, I can't even like play off stream because even if I win off stream, then like he's gonna come back and accuse me of cheating. And that went on for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I think, unfortunately, from the sounds of it, it sounds like Daniel Naroditsky may have taken his own life. The exact details weren't given, but it seems like from the implications of all the things that I've read about it, it's pretty bad. Like that's what
Mm-hmm.
it sounded like. And we saw all the chess content creators and all like the big names in chess were very sad for the loss of Daniel. Um, I don't know, like I follow chess a fair bit, at least like pretty casually. Uh, but I've definitely seen all the outcrying from like Magnus and Gotham Chess and all the others, just like wanting to represent and live, champion his memory over the last few weeks. Like they're all doing like slow runs because he was supposed to be a very instructional person, like who's like one of the best teachers of chess that was
Hmm.
on the internet. Um, yeah, that seems like that's a soft thought. Since it's not nearly there's not much in the way of other news this week as opposed to the last few weeks, which were just laden with
A
stuff
lot
going
of
on.
drama.
Yeah, a lot of drama. We could just talk about this because this is something that's always going to be ongoing, right? Whenever you have people that are just out there on Twitch, just putting themselves out there, there's going to be haters, available
Hmm.
for all that.
So just going to the chess thing for a second. I saw I saw the headline about his passing, and then Terry was like, "This is a big deal. You probably want to hear more about this," and send me a couple of links. And the more I started to read about it, I was like, Jesus. And the more people came up and stood up for this guy, like you said, and stood on and said, yeah, he was getting really, really hammered by this guy. And it was to the point, like you mentioned, he's like, if I win on stream, then I'm doing something off screen to cheat. If I win off stream, then I'm using programs in the background to cheat. No matter what I do, I'm a cheater. And it wears you down. It really does wear you down. So it's terribly sad to see it, and we do see it. We do see it online. I mean, Twitch has Twitch has dealt with it itself. We got new. I'm just double checking the date on this. We got new hate and harassment policies last November, literally a year ago. This week, Twitch went crazy with its policies and really tried to lock up the thing. And I mean, it starts to at the I'm just looking at the Twitch blog entry from November 1st, 2024. It opens with, to the Twitch community, over the past few weeks, we've seen members of the community voice concerns about how we handle potentially harmful conduct. There is no place for racism, hatred, or harassment of any kind. And it goes on from there. So this is not limited to just one group of people or one particular platform. This is an issue that affects everybody. If you go online, you put yourself at risk for this. So it's very, very important for us to be aware of, and to talk about and sit there and say, it's okay to stand up and say, all right, I'm tired of your shit. You scream at me all the time and I'm tired of it. It's okay. I mean, the latest statistics I saw, because I knew we were going to talk about this, so I just did a quick reference on it today, is that girls under the age of 15, 73% of them are reporting they've been cyberbullied in some way, shape, or form. So it is a really important topic, and I don't know where it comes from, Terry. Why do people have to behave this way?
I think a lot of people, it makes them feel better about themselves by putting other people down. Like if you kind of like shit talk someone or call someone shit and all that stuff, you're just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, I feel superior to them now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as for like the younger kids, I think they just don't see the repercussions of it,
Mm-hmm.
especially at the younger age. Like you said, girls 15 and under are cyberbullied like 73% or something along those lines.
73%.
Yeah, and like I know Tessa's gonna get to that age. It's kind of scares me. Um, yeah, the internet's a scary thing because a lot of times you can just put things out there and you don't know the effects of it. You're just like, okay, I'm just gonna poke fun poke fun of this person now, and you don't know what's gonna happen. Like I know, even when I was a kid, like we would make fun of some people at school. It wasn't that uncommon, but like it was at least I don't want to try to justify this, but at least it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of to their face, right? And it's not like
Mm-hmm.
everywhere constantly happening. And like now, as an adult, I see that I'm just like, God, I was such a dumb kid. Like
Sure.
they were just a little different. Like, why was I making fun of them? But then, I was like 10 years old, 12 years old, or whatever at the time, and I didn't know any better. And other people were doing it, but yeah, just one of those things. Like you just don't realize the repercussions of your actions and how it really affects people.
And you bring up a good point. When we were in school, it was a face to face thing. I went to an all boys high school. I was a graduate of a class of 251, and in my class, I was number 125. So literally, Howard Moon was the Mendoza line for my high
Yeah.
school class. If you were smarter than Howard Moon, good for you. If you weren't, sorry. Um, but I was a bit of a nerd, and I was targeted a lot by people. It's funny when COVID started, um, there was this huge outreach inside my high school class. I hadn't talked to any of these guys in 20 years. And all of a sudden they were like, we've started a Zoom chat. Come say hi sometime. And I'm like, why the hell would I want to say hi to these people? Most of them couldn't stand me in high school. Most of them were just nasty ass to me in high school. And I logged on one night. I'm like, all right, let's just get this over. If I got a beer in my hand. And they were so just kind of like, yeah, man, that was a different time. It really wasn't. Weren't trying to be rude or anything. We were just, we were stupid kids, like you said, stupid kids. And I've actually been able to reconnect with a lot of them in since then. So I think it is youthfulness is one, but I also think that, and this is something that Phil has said in the past, our mutual friend Phil, the anonymity of the internet. It's
Yeah.
when we were in high school, thousands of years ago, when we were in high school, you couldn't, there wasn't this anonymity. People had to say stuff to your face, or they're talking around you, those kinds of things. Now you just create a screen name and there's total anonymity. There's no way to, or it's not no way, but it's very hard to trace it back to the source, which just opens up all sorts of more meanness. At least that's the way I feel about it. I see it. I see that all the time now with folks, even with text strings, like people yelling at each other on text strings. At least you know what the phone number is in most cases. You can find out. There's no way. I mean, I could go ahead on Kick right now and register Terry Hater 1743. No one would know it was me.
Yeah.
And it's just, it opens the door for even more bad acting because there's no restraints. So I think cyberbullying kind of changed the game even from the traditional bullying aspects.
Yeah. I think it's also a lot easier to just kind of pile on. And when you see a bunch of people already doing it, you're like, okay, this is what everyone's doing. And you just
Mob
continue.
mentality.
Yeah. And it's hard to just stop. Like you're just like, okay, this is what happens in this chat. Like, everyone's
Mm-hmm.
just gonna be mean to him. It's kind of expected. Let's just keep piling on, and this is what they're used to. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not like there's no reason to be that way toward a person, like even irregardless of even if other people are doing it. But it's hard to be the one that's like trying to stand up against it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no incentive for you to be like, hey guys, let's stop piling on to X streamer or Justin Bieber or whatever. Like these comments aren't very nice. We
Mm-hmm.
should try to be friendly to him to encourage him to like stay here and for him to like, want to actually like continue this sort of thing, as opposed to be like, fuck this. This is like all this does is just drag me down emotionally and mentally,
Yeah.
and like where's the advantage of that? Like what's the point of doing it?
It just blows my mind how people can be so nasty to each other for no good reason. I think back to like and Terry and I have talked about this off stream before in the past too. The whole situation when OnlyFans blew up and the pirate software situation. Terry and I had kind of different takes on that whole breakdown of it. But it got really nasty really fast and really personal. Like if you want to come after me and tell me I'm the worst Hearthstone player in the world, and well, then you could try to justify that. But some of the stuff that I saw in that situation was just intensely personal, and like response videos with like really overdrawn, overdone caricatures of the people involved. And I was just like, what purpose does this serve? It doesn't help the conversation. It doesn't further the conversation in terms of a resolution. So what are we doing other than just scoring cheap points and saying to our bros, hey, look at this crazy shit I made? I don't get it.
I mean, a lot of people enjoy seeing the drama. Let's be real. Like it's like
It's
people that
true.
enjoy slowing down and seeing an accident when an accident's happening. People love to see the drama, no matter how big or small it is. Like they just want to know. They're just curious, and they just can't help themselves. I mean, that's why reality television has grown to where it has
Mm-hmm.
been the last, 20 years or whatever. Like it didn't exist in the 80s, but now everyone's like, I could just see what these people actually are like in real life, in quotes, in real life. And then this is
Right.
so interesting to them, right? It's like getting the National Enquirer, like back in our day when that was actually a thing. And,
Oh my
and then
God. Remember that?
and then you get to see it, you get to see it in person. Like you get to see the story unfold, and it becomes like the water cooler talk, of the next day, because you're like, oh my god, did you see what happened in Keeping Up with the Kardashians this week? Can you believe what was going on?
And people are shocked that I don't watch that shit. I mean, I liked I when Survivor Verse came out, I loved Survivor. Um, there were a couple whodunits I really loved. I don't know if you've ever seen or heard of the show The Mole.
Yeah,
The Mole was on ABC for 2 seasons, and it was basically a Discover the Traitor. It was basically a live version of Among Us.
yeah.
So you had to go do these tasks, but there was one person who was trying to mess up the task intentionally without being detected, and it was a really well done kind of like who done it show. But now it's like all about like it's Kardashians, it's the Jersey Shore. um my wife is watching a Vanderpump Rules spinoff now called The Valley, and which I guarantee she's watching right now because this is what she does while I podcast. People always say that to me too. Oh, your wife doesn't mind that you disappeared podcast. My wife loves when I disappear to podcast because that means she can put trash TV on without judgment anytime she wants. Um, yeah. So yeah, one of Wig just said it in chat. The Mole was hosted by Anderson Cooper. That's exactly the show I'm thinking of. So, um, so I had my live reality TV phase, but it wasn't anything like it is today. And then people sit there and wonder why. I just finished binging a show on Amazon Prime called Has Been Hotel. And if you seen this, Terry?
No, I know, but that name is just
He's
great.
laughing. It's spelled HAZBIN. The Has Been Hotel, and it's its second season, but it's an adult animated series. Adult, not meaning like dirty, but adult meaning I would not show this to a 10-year-old.
Okay.
Um, dealing with a bunch of sinners in hell who are trying to see if there's a way to redeem themselves to get to heaven.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's really well done. But I will put that on before I put on an episode of the Jersey Shore. There's no way. Well, don't you want to see them get drunk and stumble around? No, if I want to see somebody get drunk and stumble around, I'll go to the store, get a 6-pack, and I'll film myself. I don't need to watch other people doing it.
Yeah, I watch a lot of cooking reality shows now with the wife, as one because it's kind of kid friendly. So I watch a
Yep.
lot of that with Tessa and the wife. I don't really watch any sort of other reality show besides like sports, because that's like
Mm-hmm.
the men's version of reality TV.
Do you guys watch the Great British Bake Off?
No, we watch Tournament of Champions, which is on Food Network, which is like all the famous chefs. We watch
Right.
a bunch of like, just random stuff. Like we used to watch some Master Chef. We watch Top Chef, just like those types of cooking shows. Yeah, but we
We
don't.
like those too, but my wife has recently become addicted to not recently. She's been watching it for years now, but she's been watching the Great British Bake Off and just really loves watching. I don't understand how these people pull off the things that they pull off.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. I mean, I see that too. You see like the extreme baking championships during the holidays. You see like extreme holiday baking. I don't know how you make an animatronic Santa Claus out of Rice Krispie treats and red velvet cake. I just don't know how you do it, but to each his own.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Have you ever
you
watched
know,
Master Chef Australia? It's actually like much better than the one in the US, but it's also like 70 episodes long for the season
that's
because
a long season.
it is they show 5 episodes a week, so you actually get to
Wow.
so you actually get to see like a full journey of everyone, because like it's essentially like you get to see like each day they do like a different challenge, and it's like someone gets eliminated at like the end of the week, as opposed to like every episode like in like the US show. But it's actually we used to watch that a lot. One, because it airs during the summer when there's like no television on, and we could just like it's something that we could watch every day when it comes up with new episodes. But also like it's actually like well crafted. You get to really like develop a bond with the contestants as opposed to the American TV shows. But anyways, we kind of diverge topics here.
That's okay. With the ladies not here today, it's okay for us to go wherever the hell we want, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Um, but I just think getting back to the whole topic of bullying, I think we have to. So we know there's a problem, right?
yeah,
And the only way we're going to be able to make any progress with it is through accountability. And unfortunately, in the internet sense, when there's so much anonymity, that means holding ourselves and each other accountable. And when we do know that somebody's doing something, like I go back to the chess situation, I apologize, I'm not great with the names, but the former champion who was doing this, it sounds like a lot of people stood up and spoke openly about it after Danya passed, but it doesn't sound like a lot of them came out in support of him openly before. I think I saw one person who said, "I wish I had said something sooner," and I can't
yeah,
remember who it was that said that. So we've got to hold each other. We've got to hold each other accountable, guys. We've got to be the friend that sits there and goes, "That's not cool," and that's the only way we're going to ever make any progress with this.
yeah. So before Kramnik actively started going after Naroditsky, he actually went after Hikaru, who's like one of the biggest content creators and number two in the world in chess. And Hikaru just like kind of like brushed him off. He's like, if you want to play me, get $1 million and we'll play for $1 million if you think I'm a cheater. He's like, you have lots of Russian friends that can, you get money from. Let's just play, let's just
Mm-hmm.
set this, over the board. But yeah,
Yeah.
he accused Hikaru a lot of cheating as well. I mean, Hikaru is like one of the few people that fought back, but then like I don't think um anyone else really spoke up against Kramnik as much. I know like Gotham Chess talked a bit about it when the accusations against Hikaru came out from Kramnik, but yeah, Hikaru doesn't take a lot from the trolls as much as everyone else does. Like he's more willing to fight back, and I think he had a lot more support too from the
Yeah.
public because bigger name, and more well known about about being like on the up and up, and I just more well known in general. More people willing to defend him, even though Naroditsky was also quite popular as well. I think he had like 1 million followers. He was like
Mm-hmm.
chess commentator. The accusations of his cheating, of Kramnik calling him a cheater, definitely a lot less well known than it was for Hikaru.
And that's an important thing to point out too. This situation with Kramnik was not isolated to one guy. It was multiple people, to the two high profile people that Terry just pointed out. But there more than two people I saw in the articles I was reading that said, "Oh yeah, he came after me briefly at one point too." Kramnik's apparent go-to in life is to accuse people he can't beat of cheating.
Yeah,
So, and that speaks really poorly of him, but that speaks to a pattern of behavior that only gets disrupted when people stand up and say you can't do this. And unfortunately, it came way too late. Hikaru stood up to him and he backed off. But to a certain extent, there's only one way to stand up to a bully, and that's to hold him accountable, to call him out and say, let me guess. After Hikaru said, "Put your money where your mouth is," Kramnik all of a sudden decided he wasn't interested in talking to Hikaru
yeah.
anymore.
I mean, I think he still called him a cheater, but he never obviously took him up on the offer. Um, I also think that like oh sorry. Tesla just trying to pop into the room. Um I I think I remember reading about like some other GM that Kramnik went after, and he was like, yeah, when he said it, like like I even contemplated suicide or something, and like, but the thing is, like, even if you call him out on like say like this sort of stuff isn't like shouldn't be done, or where like what are the ramifications? Like what can be done? Like
Right.
right, like that's the problem. Like there's no one to hold him accountable. Like supposedly now FIDE is gonna do like an investigation on it, but like what like there's people are like trying to like create a petition to get Kramnik stripped of his world title, and all that sort of stuff. But like, I don't think FIDE's ever going to do that. Like, it looks so bad on chess if they just strip a world championship away from somebody. Like, it's not in their best interest. Like we talked about that last week. Like when people were calling out Miskiff and Nina and stuff, and them not
Mm-hmm.
banning it. Like Twitch makes so much money off of them. Like, what's their incentive to actually do it?
Yeah, I'm looking really. I just did a quick search on Kramnik's name, and yeah, as recently as like a week and a half ago, um, Chess's international governing body says it's considering disciplinary action against him. But at the end of the day, what does it really mean?
Yeah,
Is it gonna hit him financially? Is it going to really going to change his behavior? The opportunity to make that happen, I think, has been already missed. That window's gone.
yeah,
So it's more about how do we prevent this from happening again, and that's something we just gotta work together as a society to get better at. I feel like.
yeah. Like also, Kramnik now is an old man. I don't think FIDE could really do anything to him financially. Like, I think he's like 65 years old or 70 or something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's in the retirement period of his life. Like, I don't think he's like depending on FIDE money to get through with things.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Exactly. There has to be repercussions, and that falls to governing bodies and institutions like Twitch to enforce their policies and be better at it. Like we talked about last week, they have not done a great job. And it's time for us to start doing something different. It just is. It
yeah,
just is, because otherwise it's going to keep happening. It's going to happen across all these different. I didn't know about the Justin Bieber thing
yeah,
until you brought it up today, and not that I'm a Bieber fan or anything, because I could not even tell you a single one of his songs. But nobody deserves to be treated that way on Twitch. And if he wants to come on Twitch and do streams, more power to him. I think that's a great outlet for somebody like him. I get the feeling, and again, don't know a ton about him, but since he settled down and got married, then they have a kid recently, and now he probably wants a different kind of angle for his life other than music and touring all the time. That's not for everybody long term, you know. So I feel like if this is what he wants to do, more power to him. Do it.
yeah. I mean, like, I think a tool like Twitch for someone of Bieber's notoriety is just a great way of interacting with your fans. Like,
Yes.
you want to be out there, you want to communicate with your fans. You want to show them how much you appreciate them. Socialize a little with them with it being safe, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
having people just come in and berate you and chat, like,
It's
that just seems
terrible.
tough. Yeah,
It's terrible. And you know what? So Justin, I know you're a huge fan of the podcast. Go
yeah.
get yourself some solid mods and 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 get yourself like 5 or 6 solid mods and let them just sit there and kick people the hell out of chat, because honestly, as a small streamer who does occasionally get the harassing message, or the person who insists they can get me more follows or wants to sell me their artwork, still happens, even though I have all the tools in the toolbox I can have that Twitch allows. There is nothing more satisfying than seeing that shit go down and then just clicking the ban hammer. I don't like to use the ban hammer, but I will. You get one warning. If you're gonna come in and be a dick, you're gonna get ban hammered.
Speaking of mod work, I think it was this week that Aiden Ross says he pays his mods like 500K a year to mod his
No,
channel.
that much?
Yeah, I mean he makes like $1 million, like, I don't know, $5 million a month or something ridiculous.
Wow.
So he pays like his mods like 500K a year or something. I can't remember what the exact number. I know it's 500K a year. I don't remember exactly how much he makes. I think it was Aiden Ross. It could have been some other big streamer, like maybe it was Asmongold or I don't know. So I can't remember who it was. But yeah, he says he pays his mods like 500K a year to handle chat, because like he
I
can't do it all. Like he has to sit there
no.
and spend time, you know, you know, entertaining everyone. He can't be monitoring chat, especially like chat goes like super fast through
Mm-hmm.
through those people's channels. Like I don't know how anyone's expected to be able to read it. but like, yeah, he pays his mods like really well, and I don't even know how much he streams, but like, if he needs to hire a mod, I'm willing to come on for 500. I'll do it for
I'm
100K.
available. I'm available. I mean, I remember that when and going back to not to keep dragging pirate software into our conversation, but when he blew up, that was like a big thing. He incorporated and immediately hired like his 3 or 4 mods as full-time employees.
Yeah,
And people were like, yeah, they get health benefits and all that. And that just blew people's minds. How can you do that when you have that level of success? You can afford to do it, and when at that level of success, you kind of need to do it. That's not really a feather in the cap of pirate software. That's him saying, shit, I got 3,000 assholes in my chat.
yeah,
I've got to have somebody other than me watching them, and
yeah,
nobody's going to do that dirty work for free, so I have to hire them. And it's the right thing to do when you have that much work ahead of you.
yeah. I
So
agree. Yeah, it's
someday
just definitely,
someday we will be hiring mods of our own, Terry. It's
yeah.
not anytime soon, but
I
someday.
have mods; they just don't get paid.
Yeah, I
They
have
do it for
I have
free.
like two. I I have well, you Obo and Max are all modded in my stream, but obviously you guys are busy on your own. But I have DM in England who comes on fairly regularly. I would say he's on about 90% of my streams. And just like about a year ago, he's just like, why don't you just mod me so I can just take care of this shit? And I was like, all right, let's see how it goes. I'll mod you. And he has been like amazing at just monitoring chat and making sure stuff has not gone wrong. I would love to be able to put him on the payroll, but I got to put me on the payroll at some point too, if that's going to be the case.
You
So
should offer him, 10% of like the $10 you make a month or whatever. You can make $1 a month
yeah,
with you.
I you know what I've done to show appreciation? I've thrown him a couple of Steam games he wanted. So, like when Sworn came out in early access, he was like, "Oh man, I really want to play this." Oh, really? There you go. Log on, let's play. You know,
I
but yeah, but yeah, I think we can do better. I think we have to keep having conversations like this as much as we don't want to. We have to keep it in the spotlight because it's just going to keep happening if we don't. And
Yeah,
I hate the fact that we have to lose somebody in order for us to get attention to it, because otherwise it just falls under the radar for most people. It's just background noise, but we'll keep having the convo and hopefully we'll get there someday.
yeah. I mean, like Phil mentioned earlier in the chat that Gabby said, like, we have to start with early education, and I don't know when like this comes up for in the education system. Seems like it's obviously something that's very important to be brought up because you hear about kids being bullied in school. It's like cyberbullied and
Mm-hmm.
stuff all the time now. Like, should Tessa, like who's in grade 6, have already learned this? It seems
Mm-hmm.
like that's the kind of age you kind of want to have them hitting, and when it comes to this sort of stuff. But I don't know, like, when do you start? Like, how early is too early?
I would say when they start going to school because that's when the peer group shifts. You
Yeah,
know, um, and I remember having this. I've had this conversation with other people before. There are times in the developmental cycle where your peer group shifts,
yeah,
and when you're a toddler, your peer group is your parents because that's who you're around 90% of the time. If you have a caregiver in the family or somebody who babysits all the time, they're part of that peer group. And then one day they pick you up and they drop you in this room with 30 other people the same size as you that you've never talked to before. And all of a sudden, the cliques begin to form and the peer groups shift. And that is the point, I think, where we just have to sit there and really talk about what good behavior is. I think we do it a little bit in a kindergarten level here in the States.
yeah.
But after that, I think it falls by the wayside. My nephew, what is he, 8 now, is the most competitive little jerk when you get into any sort of gaming situation. And I was playing, I think it was Street Fighter with him, and he was all excited. He's like, I'm getting really good at this, blah blah blah. And he kicked my guy's butt. I can't remember who we were playing. And he kicked my butt, and then immediately, round one, just kicks my butt and starts gloating. Ha ha, you don't know how to fight Street Fighter. That little punk ate dirt round 2 and 3. He ate dirt. And I looked right at him, and the look on his face was like terror. Like, what is Howard going to say now? And I just said, good game. You played very well. And he looked shocked that I was not dancing on his grave. Shocked. And I said to him, I was like, did you expect me to say something different? And he goes, well, you won. You get to rub it in. I'm like, I don't have to rub nothing, and I won. That's
Yeah,
it.
I think
I
it's
just
definitely. Oh, sorry.
no. I feel like somewhere in that translation, I see it. I'm like, why? No, where did he learned this from his peers? That this was what the way you behave, and this is what you do. But where and when that moment was, who knows?
I mean, I was gonna say it seems like definitely like a very American attitude kind of thing to
It
be like
is.
hyper competitive,
It
right?
is.
And it's kind of brought up through your whole system of, or like even Canadian too, but like through your whole system that like you kind of have to be the best. You need the best grades. You need to win in all the
Mm-hmm.
competitions, and like you hear people complaining about kids getting participation trophies and all that stuff, and like, oh, we don't want no participation trophies. We just want to be the best. And like, this is where it all comes from, right? Like, it's just a bad, flawed system in general that I think, they need to find a way to get it all changed because obviously this is not working, right? Like, yes, you may create some like the best athletes or whatever, but then all the people that fall by the wayside are kind of just like, you know, left there for dead, so to speak. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Sportsmanship is something that America is very badly. Um, I really I because I grew up in that culture, I didn't really appreciate what bad sportsmanship, which is if you think about it, is kind of a form of bullying in and of itself. I didn't really appreciate how bad it was here in the States until I started curling. Have you ever gone curling, Terry? You live in
no,
Canada, isn't it like
yeah,
required?
no, but I definitely watched curling before.
Okay, so if you've never curled, you probably don't know the behind the scenes stuff, but very simply, you are required to shake hands with every one of your opponents at the start of a match. You are required to shake hands and say good curling at the end of a match, even if you get destroyed. And it is considered a massive faux pas if you don't sit and have a drink and a snack with them afterwards. And to the point where it is so air quotes regulated as a social construct there, the winners have to buy the first round for the losers. It's kind of a known thing. And if it's not alcoholic, it's not alcoholic. It's not like it's a game that was invented in Scotland. Yes, alcohol becomes involved if that's the way you want to go. But that was where I really shined a spotlight on it. And what I found was 5 minutes into that drink, nobody's talking. Everybody, the losers are all sitting there licking their wounds. The winners are talking about something completely else. And then 5 minutes into it, somebody will sit there and go, man, you made a really good shot there, or you played really well here, or I wish I had this particular shot back, et cetera, et cetera. And it just becomes this camaraderie thing. And I have been to curling events where a match is an hour and a half max. Um, and 2 hours after a game ends, now there's pieces of paper on the table. People are drawing up what the situation was and what they would have done differently. And it's a much more camaraderie versus confrontational approach. When you're standing on the ice, you're trying your damnedest to beat the guy opposite from you. But once you're inside that room, it is a completely different kind of feel. And I don't think we have that in American sports. We don't have that anywhere else.
No.
Baseball game, you go in the dugout, you get changed with your team, you go back on your bus and you go home. And I think that's the majority of sports. And I really love the fact that I got to spend a couple of years in that environment and really kind of just learn more about sportsmanship because I think it's important.
Yeah, I think it's hugely important. Like, I think it's just not taught, like, because everyone's just
Mm-hmm.
trying to take everyone's heads off, essentially in
Yeah.
sports, and you just don't get to sit down and just thank them or whatever, or just like congratulate them on a good game. It just it's not bred into the kids these days, right? Like, everything's so competitive nowadays.
I'll tell you, I had one match in curling where I destroyed this guy. I think the final score was like 12-2. absolutely destroyed an up and coming skip. And he was so angry. He got off the ice, he packed his stuff, and he just left in a huff. And I come to find out the next morning, the president of the curling club had sent him a very sternly worded email informing him that he needed to call me and apologize for not hanging out to have a drink. Like, that's how important the social construct was to them. Was
Yeah,
like, you don't, this is not an option. I get that you're
yeah,
angry. I get you were competitive. You don't get to choose this. And I was like, wow, that's when I really realized, okay, they don't mess around with this part of the sportsman part of it. And I think we could take a lesson from that. We could definitely take a lesson from that.
yeah. I definitely think the handshake is pretty common. The hanging out thing, I think, is definitely uncommon. I remember like back in the '80s during the Michael Jordan era and the Detroit Piston Bad Boys, like
Mm-hmm.
after the Bulls beat them, like all the Pistons refused to like go out and like shake hands at the end of the series and stuff. And it was like a big news story. But like not just like, oh, the Pistons are just being super competitive. They're just pissed off they didn't win. And they're kind of more glorified for it than demonized,
Mm-hmm.
that for it. And that's, I don't know, that's just kind of like the wrong attitude. Maybe things are better now. I don't know. I haven't been part of any sort of competitive sports at all at like the lower levels, but maybe it's better. But like when you see the pros do it,
Mm-hmm.
then it's just gonna end up being a reflection of what the kids learn, right?
It absolutely set the tone. And I think part of it too is the way sports are covered.
Yeah,
We see every moment of guys trying to kill each other or muscle past each other and barking at each other. We don't see other than that quick handshake at the end of the game. We don't see the what happens afterwards when guys hang out in the field and chat and jersey exchanges take place, which is kind of a commonplace in football now. TV doesn't show that part that often, and I think there's something lost there. But should I'm going to date myself with a Tom Brady reference because Lord knows I dislike Tom Brady. Tom Brady has a bad game and he runs off the field without handshakes. You know damn well the camera's going to be on him as he runs towards that tunnel. They're going to show that, but they don't show the days that he stays out there and talks for like 25 minutes to other players and is asking, "Hey, how's your wife?" kind of thing. So we don't do a good job promoting sportsmanship here in the States at all.
yeah. All right, let's change topics a little. New
Yeah,
Hearthstone expansion came out today. Do you have
I
any
have
chance to take
not
a look?
I have not even opened Hearthstone yet. But I have to because I have to get my free pet spin.
Yeah, you gotta get your it's Arfist. It's really cute. I don't know if it's $168 or $78 cute, but definitely pretty cute. I haven't done my pet spin either. I keep forgetting between games today while streaming, but it definitely looks very, very cute. I could definitely see people spending a bunch of money trying to get it. But yeah, I know nothing about this new this new set. I thought I should at least bring it up since technically
Yeah.
we have a big major Hearthstone background.
So here's I'm gonna ruin something for everybody here. Here's how I approach a set release because I have right now about 14 to 15,000 gold. At some point tonight, I will go spend 10,000 gold on packs. I will buy 100 packs of the new expansion. I will unpack all the cards. I will take whatever achievements I get out of them, and then I will go play Battlegrounds. 3 days from now, I will touch base with guys like Tito Santana. I'll at least look to see what Tito's usually my barometer on a new set. So if you're not following with Tito Santana HS on Twitch, go watch Tito. He's playing right now as we're recording this. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I rated him
Tito,
before I came here.
there you go. Tito, how's the new set? If Tito's like, well, the new set, it's got its issues, I'm probably not playing it. But if he sits there and goes, I really like it. Now I'll tell you what I do next. I cheat. I go online and I search top decks, Hearthstone, and I find one that sounds interesting, and I just play that deck. My deck building days are way behind me. Way behind me. But I can still go out there and enjoy playing some very like low level silver, gold, even maybe even the platinum level. I think I beat diamond once. Games and not have to feel bad about using a pre-made deck. And I'll do that with every expansion just because I enjoy seeing what they are doing next. But if I'm being honest, my big excitement is that the release of a new standard expansion means I am only a month or two away from a Battlegrounds reset.
1 month,
One
December 5th,
month.
I think.
We have a day. See, Terry pays attention. You use the end date for the pass sales, right?
No, well, if you go look at in the shop, the
Mm-hmm.
battle pass says is available until December 5th or something along those lines,
That's
and
it. That's what I mean.
that's literally the last day, the day before the new expansion comes out. Because one time
So
I thought maybe they'll be nice and not try to sell someone the previous battle pass the day before the new pass comes out, but then I was wrong. Yeah, they'll literally take
so
the money.
I will absolutely look forward to that. I do. So I do get excited when a standard set comes out because I know that means our season is getting ready to move forward.
Yeah,
And that's always a lot of fun. New cards, new metas. I love stat reset. I finally cleared 7K this week. Thank
nice.
God. I have never had a season where I have not at least cleared 7K. I've had seasons where I've cleared 7K and then going all the way back down to like 6,500, but I've never had a season where I couldn't get over 7K. And I had a nice little run. I was like, all right, let's make this move. And I got back over 7K again, and I'm happy where I am. But that just reminds me, this reset's coming. And Lord, if we're gonna talk, can we talk Battlegrounds for a moment? It cannot come soon enough. We have to have a conversation about Silent Enforcer. He's out of control.
Is that the demon?
That's
Which
the
was one?
demon, the death rattle demon that does
Oh,
damage. I'm not even joking. I walked into one this weekend, double golden Silent Enforcer, two of the Hellcaller, the ones that get stronger every time a demon does damage,
yeah.
two Lord of Ruins, the one
Lord
that
of
gives
Ruins. Yeah.
1/1 every time, and a Golden Baron. And he didn't even have the chicken. Beasts weren't even in. And he went first, and the first thing died. And the next thing I know, I look up, and everything on his board is 115 by 115, and they were like 22 by 22 a minute ago. And I'm like, and there's another one still alive. And I'm just like, oh, this is not going to end well for Howard Moon. So, I sort of like, all right, well, how do you counter something like that? And I'm like, you just need a crap ton of health. So how you get the crap ton of health? I mean, I guess you got to play dragons. It'd be the only way for me to figure it out. But I did what I always do when I feel like I need an echo chamber. I went on Reddit, and sure
Oh
enough, there's
man.
like, oh my god, so many posts of just pictures of Silent Enforcer or Chicken, just saying we need to get rid of this card. And I was like, all right, I'm not the only one running into this crazy comp. And I was really angry about it until the next game when I accidentally stumbled into it myself with God, what's his name? The Master Cloner.
Zarek.
Zeno?
Zarek.
Zarek. Zarek Master Cloner. And just the way the cards fell, I had a similar comp. I had a golden chicken, I had two golden enforcers, and a baron in the back. And going into the last round, I goldened the baron. And I was just like, I am really sorry for what's about to happen to you, bro. I apologize. I feel like I need to send you like a ham or something because this is going to be bad. And it was an easy first place, but so I am looking forward to the reset because I feel like that's every time I see demons and beasts in the same lobby, I know it's coming.
It's
Someone's going to do it.
it's the chicken that's the problem, honestly. Like without the chicken, you could find ways to counter. You could get the tier 5 guy that taunts a tier 5 guy and does double damage to try to
Mm-hmm.
like pick off the back line stuff before the enforcers go off. But with chicken, it is a problem. I mean, actually, I think this meta right now is very well balanced. And
It
you know
is.
what a well balanced meta means? Everyone's bored of it because they don't get to do fun broken shit. Because I've heard so many people complaining about the game and that you can't do this. That it's boring, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
happens when you have a pretty balanced meta. Like obviously, the stuff with chicken is pretty bad. The stuff with the Murloc end of turn stuff like spell buffing one is pretty bad. But
Can be
like,
bad, yeah.
yeah, it you can counter it all if chicken didn't exist because like it's a mechanic that circumvents kind of like the way we play the game. But like, I think the meta is pretty good right now. Like, it's pretty balanced.
Yeah.
All the tribes can win, which is very rare. But yeah, I think it's the meta is actually okay. Like, but also, yeah, I looked it up. It's December 2nd. It's the last day for the battle pass.
Okay.
So you have just a little less than 1 month to get into gear for the next
And
pass.
and that means we'll start hearing probably in about 3 weeks. We'll start hearing about what cards are going to be coming out. They'd like to give us those little previews. Um, Hopefully, Blizzard does its freaking job this time and gets Terry into the preview event because
Hopefully.
freaking A, man. I listen. Somebody asked me this the other day. Who do you watch on Twitch when it comes to Battlegrounds? And I said it depends on what I want to do. If I want strict, high level, no entertaining, I don't care if you understand it or not gameplay, I'm watching Beater or I'm watching Jeep because those guys they play 5D chess while I'm playing Candyland. Okay. But when I don't watch Twitch just to watch great play. I want to be entertained and I want somebody I'm going to learn from and I'm going to enjoy watching. And that's why 90% of the time I put on Terry is because Terry is way better than I am at the game and he's fun to watch and we can play songs in his chat. We can hang out and I can learn and be entertained at the same time. I mean, people say, oh, Chief, you got to watch Chief. Why do I have to watch Chief? I'm never going to be 21K, guys. It's not going to happen. My rating is never going to be that high. So why not watch somebody who's both good and entertaining? So, where was it going with this? Oh, I have no idea. I've lost my train of thought. I'm having old man
like,
brain.
you have to be entertaining. Like, if you're not entertaining on Twitch,
Previews.
yeah, previews.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't watch anyone that's not entertaining. That I can just enjoy just hanging out with them. It's just not my style. Like, I watch
That's it.
Twitch for entertainment. Like, a lot of people watch just for want to see high rolls and the best possible thing, but that's just not my style. Like, it makes sense that a lot of people want to watch the best people performing at the highest level.
Sure,
But
I get that, but so I mean, when I see who's coming out and recently they have not been publishing the list of who's going to be doing. Blizzard has not been publishing who they've invited. They used to put out a whole list. Oh, watch your favorite North American streamer. Here's 30 guys we've invited.
yeah,
They don't do that anymore. So you just kind of log into a preview event and see who's online, you know. But I would rather sit and watch Terry play a preview event than anybody else. I mean, it's just why. And it's a preview event. That's the thing too. Well, I've got to figure out the meta. I've only got 3 hours of watching a preview event. I got bad news for you. Half those cards are getting nerfed on the second day because the preview event and the first couple days are going to show one meta or one card is causing like an 85% win rate, and they're immediately going to go after it.
yeah.
So,
I was gonna say it was pretty funny. The last preview event I was part of, like, a card got nerfed before it even hit play.
didn't it get that was the one I think that was the one I was in. Isn't that, didn't they nerf it like literally like right after the preview event, like before it even hit?
It was the Murloc battle cry, give a Murloc different keyword.
Yes.
And it was just too broken.
Oh my god, the only game I won in that preview event was that. I abused the shit out of that, and I got a first place out of it. And then like the next morning I wake up and it's like, yeah, we've removed this card from the pool. And I'm like, oh god damn it.
Yeah, they tried bringing it back a bunch of different ways, but it just wasn't as good as it was. Shall we talk about our greatest moments streaming, or should we save that for when actually the ladies are here? I thought we could talk about it.
I would like to hear the ladies' take on it, but I'd like to hear what yours is. I mean, we can revisit it with them too. Let's hear Terry's greatest streaming moment.
I mean, it probably has to be like the charity events. Like the first one I did for West Coast Kids Cancer Foundation was probably like 4 years ago. The community raised like $5,000 or something for around there.
I think I was in that event. Was that the Pros and Joes event that I did with Bofer?
Yeah, I think that might have been.
I think it was. That was a great event.
Yeah. So that one was like, I think it was good because we also got like the lady that was the CEO of the West Coast Kids Conference to come on to stream. She talked about the charity, talked about where the money's going, answer questions and all that stuff for like a couple hours. I thought that was just like a great moment. Like it's giving back to the community, which is very nice. I don't know. It's just like a fun part of the community. Like
Hmm.
I could theoretically say, "Oh, yeah, the day I got partner," but like I don't does it actually mean shit all, right? Like this is like something that makes an impact on the real world. It makes
Yeah.
an impact on a bunch of people's lives, and like
Hmm.
it feels good to be like a part of that. Like so, I would say like probably that first one, like that was like a great success and it got a lot of eyes on the charity, funded a lot of money for the charity. They were very grateful, and that I think that's probably what my greatest streaming moment would be. How about yourself, Howard?
Well, I like where you're going with that. I would have to say that the year we did the Robomint was really
Yeah.
big for me. I mean, I drank an entire bottle of Rumplemints trying to raise money for a friend. So that was something. Um, that was a lot of fun. And that was a big moment. But honestly, my biggest moment on stream would have to be the Lobby Legends casts. I loved doing the Lobby Legends casts. At the end of the very first Lobby Legends, Play Hearthstone rated me. And I went from having 22 people in my stream to having 4,000 in literally the blink of an eye. Um, and I'll never forget that, just because I was in the Discord and I was saying, as we were getting down to the last couple, I'm like, guys, it's been a great event, but I can't wait to log off. I am so tired. And immediately I got a DM from Iskar, don't log off. And I'm like, oh crap, what are they doing? Is there going to be something more? Did I miss something? And he's just like, don't log off. I'm like, okay. And then they rated me. And now I'm like, all right, I've been 8 hours into this stream. I'm exhausted. Check format is great, but it takes a lot out of you. And they're like, no, now you got to stream for like another hour or two because you got to play some games with the community because we just rated you. So that's probably my biggest moment. I feel like I never had more fun streaming than I did doing between the Robomint and between in the Lobby Legends. I've actually had a lot more fun streaming when I talk about other people playing games than I have myself playing games and talking while playing, which may sound weird, but it absolutely is true. And I do remember that West Coast Kids event, um, because I think Bofer asked me at the 11th hour if I would do it. And I just remember feeling to myself, don't get eliminated in the first round. Don't get eliminated in the first round. And then I took 2/7. And I think I got a magnificent mech comp in the last game. I can't remember exactly what it was because it was several seasons ago, but it was one of those builds where everything was lining up for Divine Shields. All I needed was to get like 2 Divine Shield minions on. I think that was when Greasebot first came out, and Greasebot was OP, and a couple of those things. I'm like, I just need to get a couple Divine Shields on the board, and I could not find a single goddamn Divine Shield. And so I ended up taking like a fifth or a sixth in a game that I really probably should have been top two. And Bofer popped into my headset like right as we were about to die, and he's like, "How's it going over there?" I'm like, "You don't want to know." I hope I hope you've got the top two, because otherwise, but it was a great event. It raise a lot of money. I remember a lot of people were into it. A lot of people were talking about that tournament before it happened, and supporting the West Coast Kids thing. So it was really a great thing to be a part of.
I, I think we could call it an episode here. I mean, it was a lot of fun, like without the
This was
girls.
fun. We
Yeah,
need the ladies here though. We can't sausage fest this every week.
I
We can't. Yeah, there's only so much man they can take on this show before we got to
know.
bring the ladies in to show the softer side of Boomer Grounds.
We are the softer side. Have you seen Bauer? She's more manly than us both. She's just start flexing on chat. Just be like, "Oh, yeah, you want some of this?"
That that
Oh,
that that woman has more testosterone in any given moment than I'll ever have in the course of
I
my
know.
lifetime. I don't know how
Yeah.
she get. She is just an amazing bundle of energy, and I can't match it. I just can't.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I definitely enjoy her when she's doing her flexing. Okay. Thanks everyone for hanging out and watching this week's episode. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow us on YouTube, both this channel and the one for all the shorts. Try to put them out as much as possible. And see you guys next week. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.